Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to Silent Podcast, the place where everything but silent. I'm your host, Isaiah, and we're back to talk about Big Brother 26. Let's get it. All right, I'm here with my co-host, Josiane. Josiane, Cam's number one fan. How are
Mm,
you doing?
I'm doing good, y'all. This is actually not a sarcastic comment. Finally, I feel like he's woken up and playing the game. So I've become his number one fan. Yes, yes, yes. But I'm excited to talk about this week.
All right, we're also back with Janelle, the
Hey,
voice of Twitter. Janelle, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm excited. A lot of things have happened since we last did some rankings. So I'm excited to battle this out with y'all.
All right, no Katie today. I don't know what she's
No.
doing, but she's busy. But it's okay. Listen, we haven't done a ranking in like a week or two because we had Mimi here last time, so it's okay. Shout out Mimi. But listen, we got a whole lot of opinions. A whole lot's been going on. We unfortunately have had life be life, and so we weren't here on Monday. But guys, what's been going on for the show for you guys? How are you feeling? Shout out to Josie. You said in the chat the game is so wide open, and I fully agree. You know, Josie, how are you feeling?
I'm excited. I said this, I believe, last week, or if not 2 weeks ago. I said Tucker is the main leader in winning this official game. Like he had the game on lock, and I said the moment he goes, it creates a new shift, and I feel like that's definitely the case. I feel like I am really enjoying the season. Like I really don't want to get ahead of myself because like if the winner disappoints me, I don't know. Like I don't know if I'll like the season as much as I do right now. But for what it is, I think this is my favorite modern season. It's been a while since I've liked a modern season. I'm gonna be so real, so frank with y'all. Um, so I'm really excited about what's to come with the rest of the season.
Janelle, is it passing the Janelle meter of satisfactory? Are we good here?
I'm like Josie. It's such a great modern season. I have personal favorites in modern seasons already that I just feel like are never going to be topped for me. But I'm loving this one because how often do we see the veto get used in US Big Brother? It's been used every single freaking week. Things are changing, norms are changing, people are blindsiding, people are backstabbing. I'm just excited to have an exciting game. Like that's what's different. These people are using vetoes, they're playing hard, they're not afraid to blindside or make moves. And that's why I think this season is especially enjoyable. We haven't had this. We've had everybody scared to go against the HOH, everybody scared to stick their necks out for other people. These people haven't been doing that. It's been chaos. So it's great.
Do, do you guys think that the chaoticness and the willingness to play their own games is a benefit to the twist of the AI arena with three noms, or do you guys, you know, because it's so unpredictable, the house doesn't know who's going to be the final two noms, or do we think it's because of the casting? Is this just good casting this year?
Both.
How do you guys feeling?
Both. I think it's both,
I
honestly.
I think it's more so casting. I think the AI arena has made the season good in the sense that we always get a live eviction vote. We're not entirely sure. Not always. Sometimes we have a rough idea of who's going. But the two main blindsides we've had, Cedric and Tucker, were mainly because we were kind of on our toes waiting to see who wins the arena because it dictates everything. So I think that makes the season interesting. As for people playing their own game, I think it's entirely due to the cast. I think the way you start off a season is how people start to feel comfortable. And I think Angela arguing with Matt week one kind of set the tone for like, oh, like anything can pop off. We can pop off. It's fine because this is now the norm in the mini society, the microcosm that we've created. So I definitely think it's casting. Tucker, I think, plays a big role in that as well because he blows up every alliance every 5 seconds. You know, same thing with Angela as well. So I think it's casting.
You know, I definitely agree with you guys. I am going to give the AI arena a little bit of love. You know, I'm
Mhm.
usually very vocal on these twists of like not liking them. I think that this is something that they were trying to do with Battle of the Block, which is like evolve the game in a better direction. And I was uneasy about it at first because of like,
Mhm.
what if someone gets screwed over? But I really do think that it's adding an extra layer of strategy, where you do have to kind of be more outspoken. You do have to have contingency plans in case certain things happen. You have to have an elevated social game, and it also just naturally causes drama, as we've seen people like Brooklyn, like apologize to Rubina one week and then she stays. Like it brings something interesting. I am curious to see if they bring it back next season, like they did with Battle of the Block, to see if it works with a different group of people. But I'm all for it for now. I see some people in the chat are with it a little bit. I'm going to show production love when it's due. This was a good thing. Unfortunately, or maybe let me stop the negative vibes. Julie said that there might be a twist next week that will impact the game huge. I don't know if that's like AI instigator huge, or is this BB AI arena huge? We'll have to wait and see. But on the topic of twists, how do you guys feel about the BB instigator? Was this worth our time? Obviously, Tucker got the 20K. Shout out to him. But how are we feeling about that?
I hate it.
Go for it, Jenna.
I hate it. I don't understand. And the funny part is, this is the twist they decided to make them be silent about and not tell. Why couldn't they do that with the other twists? I don't know. But I don't know. I don't see what real impact it did have. It stirred up some drama. We saw some tears. Sure, it's fun to watch, but maybe if another player had it, they could have dropped some more crucial information. But I don't think it really had that big of an impact game-wise. It was just drama,
I think what production did is that they saw how much Quinn flopped. Like, let's be real. We have to call a spade a spade. I think production saw how much Quinn flopped with that deepfake HOH that they were like, okay, this next twist absolutely must remain a secret, and we have to make sure that the house guest that gets that power knows it. And I think that's why there was this new added layer of like, you can't say anything to anyone. I think the twist again has potential, but again, like every twist, it's how it's executed. And I think giving the power to Tucker, someone who was seemingly in power at this point in time, doesn't really benefit him. Like, I feel like everything he did actually ruined his game, if we're being quite frank. His first BB fake, well, I'm going to talk about the ones we saw on the show. There was more, but whatever. The one we saw on the show, the first one impacted Rubina. She cried. That's his ally. Then it continued and it made people think that it was Angela, another one of his allies. And it just made people, I think it created the snowball effect that actually really solidified Angela turning against him. And let's say MJ wouldn't have won and Angela would have won, I do think she would have voted to evict Tucker. And I think him having the instigator and that small element added impact. Like, it actually worsened his game. And it was unfortunate for him. Thankfully he's gone. Sorry, Tucker Nation. Sorry, Tucker Nation, but it is what it is. So I wish maybe, I wonder how Joseph would have used it. I think that would have been interesting to see. I'm curious how Quinn would have used it. And Chelsea, I don't know. I think Tucker had the most information though. That's the thing. Like, between the house, like if we think about it, no one had any bombs to drop. Like, really, like, can you think of something maybe that like could have been said that would have switched? Like, I don't think so, right?
No.
Like, it would have been interesting if it had been like the veto meeting where Tucker blew absolutely everything up, the collective, exposing people who are working. That would have been interesting on AI. For this instigator, something like that would have been interesting, because he could have dropped it completely unanimously or as somebody else's avatar, and that would have sent people reeling, and he wouldn't necessarily have to be the face of exposing it. So something like that could have been interesting, but it's so deep, and he's already told absolutely everything. So there was potential for it. I just think that now where they're at and what is known to the house, there's, like you said, Josie, no real bombs to really drop. What's he gonna say?
Yeah,
that would have been crazy if he did that weeks ago with it.
It felt like a different attempt at the BB Saboteur that they did in 12. But like, if I'm them and I'm Tucker, like what stop you from just like making something up? You don't need to like tell the truth all the time, like Or like, hey, Leah said, I don't know if he was aware of what Leah was saying, but hey, guys, Leah said X, Y, Z. Like, let's get, like something stupid. You're like, I don't
He
know,
tried to,
but
but it didn't work. Like
you
he
think
tried to
so?
be like Leah's running the boys' game, or
Yeah,
like
he's not that good
when
at it, though.
he didn't execute well, and
Yeah,
rightfully
yeah,
so, because he's not in a position where I think he felt like he really needed to use this element in terms of gameplay. It was more so for entertainment for Tucker, which is probably
yeah.
why people voted for him.
Yeah.
And Janelle, you said that it didn't really leave an impact. I think it did, just not the way I think he hoped, because I think it hurt his and Rubina's game way more than it needed to be.
Yeah.
Jay West in the chat, do you guys think the power will be sent back into the game to another player to cause chaos? I don't think
hope.
so. I don't think so. I think it's ran its course. Me
I
personally.
think it's retired. I think it's done with, or else they would have already mentioned it again.
Yeah.
But also, I don't want any more new twists. Is that crazy to say? Like, I just want them to
No,
play Big
it's
I
not.
agree with
Like,
you.
let's close the BBA AI arena soon,
This
and let
is
them play regular
scary.
Big Brother.
I think when jury starts, they're going to be able to do like no more arena. The scary thing is Julie's talking about like, and after this we'll get into the rankings. She's talking about like, yo, like there's this big twist coming in, boom, boom, boom. I'm afraid because if you track it to last season, this was, I believe, the week Cam was
Zombie
HOH,
Week. Jeez.
and I don't think there's no zombie week. Let's make that clear. Everyone's sent home, so there's no zombie week, but like they always do this thing where like the beginning of jury, if they throw something in there, always like stifles gameplay. We had this with the invisible HOH in 20 as well. I'm just like, y'all, like we don't need to do this. Like if they do something, I'm okay with it being like the instigator because it's harmless and it's like someone gets money, but like don't make it game altering because then it's gonna be bad and we don't want that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So let's
Rating
leave
change.
that. Yeah. All right, so. Anyways, we have a whole lot of people to get through. We're already 10 minutes deep, so we might as well get into our rankings. These rankings are outdated because, like I said, we had Nicole here last week, so we did not rank. But since last time, obviously, Cedric was the last person. We have lost Brooklyn, and we have also lost Tucker. Okay, so Janelle, how did you want to do this? You want to start from the bottom to the top or the top to the bottom?
I like how we did it last time with the blank one, but
How do we do with the blank one?
Remember we had this one on the side.
Oh, two screens, split screen, old ranking, new ranking.
All right, while I'm setting this up, you guys can start with Mackenzie. I got it.
Okay. But I was also going to mention before we get into the rankings also that we were talking about AI Arena. I just wanted to also shout out the fact that it was equitable comps. I think if BBAI Arena was like with the competitions from last year, we would all hate it, like to be quite frank. But because it's equitable, I think we're okay with it. Anyways, so
100%.
Mackenzie. Mackenzie, I feel like Mackenzie is always in the same position every week. Like it's hard for me to like, how can I say it in a like positive way? I just feel like her game is so stagnant. And it's like part of it is her, part of it is other people in the house. And so now I feel like she's in a position where the game has reset. And she's a number. And I think Quinn sees her as a potential ally. I know that Chelsea also sees her as a potential ally. And she was on the right side of the votes. So once again, so it's really interesting. I don't know if she has the abilities to outstand or outdo other people on the cast until she gets an HOH and gets power. But for right now, she's not in a power position. She's never been a power position. She's always been on the block and winning the BBAI arena. So it's like, at one point, is it her? And at one point, is it the other house guests? Because I do think that people don't manage their relationships with her as well properly. But also it's like, I just feel like both parties, both her and the other house guests, aren't coming together to mesh well in terms of the game. So Yeah, I don't know, but I think she's always gonna be that number that people wanna pull in, and despite people wanting to vote her out last week, um, it's like a Cam situation. It's like people wanted to do that because they wanted to keep the other person above the the other. It's not because people think MJ's this massive threat. Um, so yeah, she's in a weird position.
Just real quick, shout out to James in the chat. The feeds are back. So anyone in the chat, if we got noms, just let us know. Please. Appreciate y'all.
Should be
I'm also
Angela,
trying to look.
Rabina, and Chemo.
You said what, Janelle?
It should be Angela, Rabina, and Chemo. That was what the talk
We're
was.
gonna have to wait and see.
Let's hope.
But how about you, Janelle? How you feeling about Mackenzie's game right now?
Now, y'all know I'm a sucker for a sweet soul, but I don't know. I don't know if Josie, you saw Girls Night. She just talked about her experience in the game and how it was making her feel and how she hasn't been welcomed into things. It really tugged at my heartstrings. I think she's a nice person and a kind soul that tries to be good to everybody. So I have a soft spot for her in that way. And she has always been very vocal about, I don't have anything, nobody's pulling me in. And it's not for lack of effort. I don't know why nobody has snatched her up and decided to use her. I think that she would be loyal to somebody that showed loyalty to her. I think that's what she's searching for. And I think that a lot of players are missing out on not picking her up, and she could win. It looks as if now at this point, Quinn is trying to rope her in and pull her into something. And I think if they show loyalty to her, MJ will latch onto that and then just naturally be in a better position. But I guess we'll see how it plays out. Quinn tends to like give a lot at one point and then like back away and not really cultivate relationships. So I'm interested to see if Mackenzie really gets solidly pulled in this week. But I think she's in a great position. Quinn promised he's not going to put her up. She's not going to be on the block. She's not a renom, he told her. So I think she's in a decent spot right now. Yeah.
God, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I think to your point, I think MJ is one of those people that's just always been kind to someone. So like no one can really be bitter at her, which is also a good thing.
Yeah.
Like I know that we're still in the pre-jury phase, but that's something that like is important because a bitter juror is a scorned one. Like they'll get you, like, you know,
Yes.
and because no one has pledged loyalty to MJ, like she can do these votes and be part of blind sides and use those arguments. Maybe she didn't initiate them, but her vote did. She was a swing vote, depending on how she argues it. Like she was a swing vote. So, in all these scenarios, so I do think that's a good thing for her in terms of jury, but it just makes her also so accessible to be a double eviction boot.
An easy one, because who's going to be mad? You know what I mean?
So real quick, it doesn't look fine. Real quick before I can tell you, Josie, you can just tell me. I'm
No, I was just like, I think Janelle wants one side empty, so like one with like where you see
put everybody
things
down the bottom.
Isaiah. Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes, sir.
Okay, there you go.
Yes, sir.
While we're doing this,
So
listen, yeah, I got you. Copy. I hear you. Listen. I hear you. Listen, it's not all the way up here. Anyway, while I'm doing that, Jay was actually said something in the chat, right? He said, "Do you think Mackenzie wins are something to mention as a resume?" Yes, but like I don't actually think that Mackenzie can get to that point. I think the thing that's helping Mackenzie a lot in this season is that she has the ability to win these what are called the AI arenas, right? And as long as that's a factor, I think that she'll be fine. But once that's all gone, and we get to a point where someone wants to backdoor or like you're next to someone that is more favorable, they're easily going to just toss you to the side, and I think that is a dangerous position to be in. So I'm not sure if I still don't think Mackenzie has a good shot of winning. I think a lot of people are like, why isn't Mackenzie being brought into things? And with that, I would say I think she's actively kind of like did herself a disservice to make people not want to work with her. I think perfect example was the whole flip week where Joseph is trying to bring her into something, and she's basically kind of like giving the cold shoulder. She's preferring on working with Chelsea and Brooklyn, even though that's the losing side. I don't think she's doing herself many favors. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like, in hindsight, yes, these are perfect things for a resume, especially when you don't have anything to work with. But I don't really see the pathway for her once AI Arena's gone. I think she's completely screwed. And let's say she somehow does get to the finale. I don't think any jury of any kind will respect her game as of right now. Unfortunately,
I
mean,
that's
agree
how I'm feeling.
with that. I think, and I think it could be a resume builder. Of course, any competition one can be. She needs to shut up about it though, because she's like, "Oh, Tucker's gone. I guess I'm the comp piece." Mackenzie, be quiet. Like, why you put that out in the air? That is a thing for you. So I
Yeah.
think that it could fare well for her. It seems like I said, it seems like Josie said, her kindness, people are going to remember. That is something if she's next to somebody that's pissed off a bunch of people, they can remember her kindness. Angela can remember how she walked with her for the end of her punishment for several rounds back and forth, even though that they've had, problems. I think that it could fare well for her. I don't think she's dead in the water yet. She's very aware of what her game has been, and if she can articulate, look, I moved through this game alone. None of y'all fools would work with me, and I had to make my own way in the game and get my
Okay.
own self to the end. Well, there's an argument that could be made. It's just we'll see who she's up against.
I
The
I
rest
wouldn't
of
want
the
to compare, like, sorry, oops. I wouldn't want to compare her to Taylor because I think those are two different instances.
It's just
But
comparable though. I feel
but
that.
it's similar in the sense that, like, Taylor was on the outs, you know what I mean? And I think Mackenzie, everything always to me is how someone articulates their game. We saw it last season with Matt and Jag. Like, everyone thought Matt was gonna win, like, if we're being for real. And Matt just did horribly with jury questioning and his speech. And so I think ultimately if she can articulate and justify, because she has an underdog at it, and who doesn't love an underdog? Like, if she makes it to the end, I won these competitions, my back was up against the wall. If I didn't win these competitions, I could have gone home, and I was swing votes for a lot of these evictions. You can argue anything as long as you have a basis. Now, if she doesn't solidify anything while winning competitions is great, there's so many different aspects. And also, we don't know what the cast prioritizes. I don't think Chemo or Takor, if they're in jury, really cares about competition wins, if I'm being frank. But who knows? Like, they might surprise me. I think there's 3 elements to the game. And I think competitions were a big one last season for the jury. And I don't know if that's the case this season. So maybe it's not even worth that much to them because that's not what they value. Like, I value social.
So for me, I'm like dead in the water, and I would like to put her in the D, but I think a lot of people also just don't like her, as well as if
Don't
I don't
like
see a
Mackenzie?
path. Yeah, like Leah, for example. Like
I
for
think she's the
example,
only one.
if I don't see a path for a certain player, I just like I in my soul can't put them not in dead of water. I can confidently say I see a slither of a chance for every other person in this cast but Mackenzie right now. And that's saying something. And I'm usually like, there's a bright side to it. I don't see a pathway for this girl once like AI Arena's going. I really don't. Like, I think she's done. But I'm also open to D.
She's
But
being brought in to, I mean, we'll have to see how this week goes and on, but she's being considered to be brought into an alliance. Nobody.
considered.
Yes, I mean they talked to her about it. They had a whole
Okay.
conversation about bringing her in. Quinn, Chelsea, Cam want to include her in the alliance that they're trying to restructure and build this week. I could see people start firing at, like, Quinn firing at a Chelsea, or
Okay.
somebody at Joseph and Mackenzie being able to squeak through. Maybe use that as a pawn, yes, but I don't think she's like dead in the water.
So
I
let's
would
put her in
almost.
D.
What do you think, Joes?
I
D?
agree. I think D is the best position because she's being brought into an alliance, which is a lot more than some of these other house kids can say.
All right. Let's talk about Cam. How y'all feel about Cam? How you feel about Cam, Josie?
Go ahead, Josie.
I want to
This is
hear
your
it.
guy.
Yes, I want to explain something, okay? When I was talking about Cam prior to this week, I just felt like Cam was furniture, rightfully so. I think that
Yes,
was a
so
justifiable
yes.
conversation, and I felt like he was put in situations because of being genetically blessed. Okay? That's how I feel. Whether you agree with me with or not, I don't really care because people agree with me and I know I'm right. Despite all that, this week I feel like Cam finally woke up. It's like the truck of common sense hit and he got struck. So I am on the Cam train. I think Cam played this week excellently. He got put up on the block by T-Core, which okay, girl. And then he won POV, and I feel like when he was strategizing, I felt like he absolutely was on the right. Like his reads to me were correct. Like I just felt like pushing for chemo, really being about this Tucker flip, despite being good friends with Tucker. That was one thing I was scared about Cam. I was like, will he be able to detach himself because of that 1 week where he's like, I'm not gonna lie anymore. I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that. It made me worrisome. And I'm glad that he was able to do this move. And I don't think anyone's looking at Cam. No one's holding him responsible for that move, despite his vote. I think people will continue to want to work with Cam. And I'm glad that him and Chelsea and potentially Quinn, depending on you never know with Quinn. You never know. But Cam and Chelsea specifically, I think they have good momentum and I want them to continue and I want him to continue to be active. If he goes back into that passive mode, I'm going to feel some type of way because now I'm on his train. So he better not disappoint me. Thank you.
Listen, shout out to my dog Cam. I saw the vision and it's coming to fruition. I think he is a chill guy, you know what I'm saying? And I just needed him to get that wake up call. And I think he got it. I think
He did.
the only thing that was missing from his repertoire was a mind of the game. And I think he got pushed into the direction because he has the personality. I think he has the respect of people. And I think people like him. And he just need that game. And I think with the help of Chelsea, is getting there. You know what I'm saying? Is getting there. So I'm very curious to see what happens this week. He's obviously not going to be on the block. I think he has a very bright future ahead of him. He won his first comp. Doesn't seem like people are still threatened by him, which is pretty crazy. I see. Listen, I have 5 people that I decided today that I think can win, and he is the only guy. I still think that a girl's winning this season, but he is the only guy that I think has any shot of winning, and he's like top 3 of that right now. So shout out to Cam. I think him and Chelsea are doing a phenomenal job after losing the house completely last 2 weeks ago, and they're bringing it back. And I like what I'm seeing. Cam for me is at a high C. And he needs to earn that B status, but he's getting there, and I like what I'm seeing. So shout out Cam. How are you feeling, Janelle?
Yeah, I think that maybe you don't all of a sudden click with being able to have a strategic mind. You either have it or you don't, right? So I think Cam was just in a position where he felt secure in his alliance and was comfortable in his alliance. So therefore he didn't need to do a lot to bring attention to himself. Maybe that was his strategy. And when he needed to, maybe it could be because you don't, like I said, you don't all of a sudden be able to be strategic when you haven't said a word all game. He hasn't needed to say a word, right? He hasn't needed to be out in the front strategizing, thinking about what they're going to do because his alliance was winning every single
In fairness, I think it could be like a DX situation where I don't know what the game is and I'm learning it as I go.
Or that
I was
too.
also going to
That too.
mention, yeah, I think it's more that case. I think Derek also from BB Can 6.
Yeah.
He got in a showmance with Kayla, and Kayla taught him the game, and he was able to figure it out on his own from her. And I think that's the thing. I think Chelsea knows what's going on, and I think because they're so allied together, she's having these one-on-one conversations with him rather than when she was having it with Cedric in Brooklyn, which is actually to his benefit because now he's taking up that number 1 spot for Chelsea, as we've talked about, who is a power position player. And so that's why I think it kind of clicked in for him because he didn't have the right to be passive anymore. Like, I think he was so comfortable, and that's why I was so irritated with him because I'm like, no, you need to play the game regardless. And now he woke up. I think, losing Brooklyn was a good step in his, like, it wasn't great for his game overall, but it was good for him in terms of like who he is as an individual player.
Well, no, regardless of what woke Cam up, because I just remember seeing him in Chelsea. He's like, yeah, so I think this is and he was calling everything spot on. So he's not an idiot. I'm happy with what he's doing. He was recognizing the value of pulling in Leah and MJ. Like, he's doing a lot of things that I really, really like. I was happy he was down with the flip. I liked his caution around the flip because he was like, I just don't want to be caught on the wrong side again and then Tucker potentially win. So I'm high on Cam. I'm proud of him. I'm glad to know what he's thinking. Like, I'm glad to have some insight into what he's thinking because I haven't disagreed with him yet. So I would definitely put him in C. He's in a good position currently.
Team C. Look at us all on the same page with Cam. I'm glad people starting to see his greatness. That's all I needed.
Oh
You're
God.
All right.
by people you mean me, but yes, okay.
All right. Let's move on to Leah.
Oh,
Before y'all do what y'all do, she's one of the 5 people I think can win this game. I'm still saying
I
that.
will
Don't piss me
die.
off.
I've
Don't piss
been
me off.
on this train with Cam and Leah. I'm still saying it. I'm not saying she's the front runner to win because she's not. But I see a path. There is 2 guys, one of them being HOH, crashing out every week to try to be in her good graces. That being Quinn and Joseph. Joseph obviously has taken a dip in power, so I'm not going to give her the huge boost that I was prepared to. But I think that these people who have some sort of sway in some sort of activity with their game really want to keep her in the loop. She obviously wants to work with very specific people and they want to work with her. And I think coming down the line, first of all, I don't see Leah leaving anytime soon, but I can see her making a distance and doing something potentially. I can see her making the final 3. I don't know about y'all. The only thing that's hurting her is that early on, she had a very big mouth, and that at any point could come back and blow up in her face. But it hasn't yet, and I think the longer this game goes on, the less those insults she made it towards certain people are going to have any power or impact on the game. So I'm not going to lie, position-wise, I think Leah's doing a pretty good job. And if certain things happen, not due to her own activities, but other people's actions go on, I could see her making a pretty good push. I think she has a shot. I'm not saying she's going to win, but there's a chance there. Listen, she's giving a little Nicole Franzel. I'm not going to lie, a little bit, just a smidge, just an itty bitty. I'm seeing a little bit, but I'm not out on her. I am also probably going to be the only one to put her in C, but I will put her in C. But you guys may continue. Go ahead, do what you got to do.
She's a cute girl. I give it to her, but her personality is the personality of like mayonnaise. She really irks my soul. But you're right. Joseph and Quinn have stuck their necks out to protect this girl. She was all just this week. Quinn came in the room and she's like slowly creeping out of the room. Doesn't even want to be in the vicinity of Quinn. Now, yesterday she was all over him. So I give the girl credit. The methods that she is using,
she got the method.
For her, very much to my annoyance. I do not understand. Part of it is T-Core and Chemo should have told on her weeks ago. It's like they don't want to give him the full view of the things that she said because they don't want to hurt his feelings. But that could have saved some of your allies this week, T-Core. She did start to tell him the other night when she was still HOH before she knew any of this was happening, but she didn't go full in on it, and she should have told him more. And Quinn basically said, I got other fish to fry bigger than Leah.
I think she can win.
So I don't know.
I'm with Moses. I think she got a missed. It's something. It's giving
Moses?
Allison. It's giving Allison. It's giving Allison. Not that strategic, but Allison had a lot of people who were fans of her, and she did what she had to do. You know what I'm saying? Look, I'm seeing the method. There you go. Go
ahead. I just feel as though if Leah was giving poverty level, Black Widow level, I would give her 10s where 10s are due. but it's simply not that. I think she was like I remember her being like, "I like a man that's chubby." That was her whole intro package, and then she came in and she was doing Island, trying to figure out her suitors, and that's great for her in terms of like relationships within the house. But I just feel as though she's kind of on MJ's level, except that people are just attracted to her. That's what I think it is. I don't think she's doing anything out of the ordinary strategically to really do these moves. And to Janelle's point, like Ilya has given multiple people ammo to go against her, talking behind MJ's back, who was one of her only allies, saying the things she said about Quinn, saying the things she said to Cam. Like there's this ammo that people have against her, and it's the issue is that the people who have this ammo aren't executing it well. I don't think she's doing anything to protect herself or to really position herself in a crazy manner. I think she has a sense of the game for sure, but it's like she's always left out. She's in literally the same boat as MJ. Literally. It just so happens that 2 guys or 3 guys or how many ever guys are attracted to her and they want to keep her for that. But I just don't see her winning. Like what can she really say that's any different than what MJ can say? At least MJ's won some
It's still
comps.
very early. It's still
Right,
very
yeah.
early.
No,
It's still
I
very
know, but
early.
that's why I
But what I was
can't
gonna
put
say
her
is
in team.
the difference between her and MJ is I can see MJ literally leaving before Jerry. I don't see that for Leah.
I can see
I
Leah.
really
If
think
if
Leah.
Core,
Who's really talking? Like let's be real, y'all. Who's targeting Leah right now?
I think if
Nobody.
Takor or Chemo,
Now who's
depending on
targeting?
the
Who
spot,
who who who
or
do you guys think is
Rubina,
targeting Mackenzie?
Nobody.
You don't think people would throw
mm-mm.
away Mackenzie just like this
Leah
if it
Leah
was just
could
convenient?
have easily gone home this week. Like if we think about it again, like we need to talk. That's the issue. Leah is not doing. She's just being skating by because people aren't taking moves against her. Like it's not
All right,
anything of her doing. I think if Takor would have listened to Tucker and put her up, it would have been MJ, Tucker, and Leah. If Leah and Tucker are on the block, I don't know if the flip still happens. I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't
here's a
know.
better question then. Who's putting Leah up right now? Who do you guys in the house do
I
you think
think
would
I could see
nominate Leah?
Chemo, Takor, and Rubina putting Leah up. I genuinely can see it.
Yeah.
Because
All right.
that's technically what was supposed to happen. But Takor, anyways, we'll talk about her.
Listen, if I'm on the island again with Leah, so be it. But I see it. I feel
just
like every
can't.
week we come back here, I'm going to keep preaching this that I see it until she goes home. Unless she has an astronomical expose. Listen, when she gets exposed or if she gets exposed, that's completely different. I see it. I see it when that happens. But until people start talking badly about her, I have not seen anyone be like, we need to get Leah out of here in a serious stint. It's been mentioned, but no one ever does anything about it. And I know T-Core and Chemo say what they say, but I'm gonna be real with you, their word doesn't mean Matt like Jack to me. Like they say a lot of things at this point. So we'll see. But if y'all want to put her with Mackenzie, we can. But I'm still preaching she's a C.
I'm not against her being this mastermind that's gonna because I see the game sense in her. I do. I see the game sense in her. I saw the DRs this week. They put her more in front of the camera, which kind of gagged me. I was like, oh, okay, hey Leah. But I like for what I'm talking about this week, I literally can't put her not beside MJ. Their games are not that different. Not in front of her.
Behind? Y'all tweaking.
Yeah.
How about you, Janelle?
Janelle,
you're tweaking.
I agree.
You want to put her behind Mackenzie?
Janelle's the tiebreaker.
This is some next listen.
I think
and y'all was doing this with Cam. I've seen some next level hating. This is crazy.
If Quinn and Joseph keep their grips on the game, Leah will likely be safe for a while. I agree.
This week.
You didn't even hear what I said. This
Go
week,
ahead.
if they keep their grips on the game for this week and moving forward, Leah will naturally be safe. I don't think she has any other real allies outside of those two that are going to stick their neck out for her. Leah has those two allies that worked to keep her off the block last week.
So where you putting her, Janelle? Where you putting her?
T-Core said she didn't put Leah on the block because of Quinn. So she had people, Mackenzie or MJ did not have that. So I could see an argument for her being in front of Mackenzie for that reason.
Y'all some haters, but I'll put her
Did
right
you hear
there.
what I just said?
She's a C level. I'm telling y'all.
You
But we're
wouldn't
gonna
put
keep
Leah
it.
in front of
I just
Mackenzie? That's what
so
I'm
let's
saying.
talk about Angela. Where y'all
No,
putting Angela?
Janelle, it's because he wants to put her in C, not
No,
necessarily.
okay. Real quick before explanations, where y'all putting Angela?
D. She's about to hit the
D.
block again.
In front of
She
who?
did hit the block. Oh, nominations came out. Quinn put up Angela, Chemo, and Rubina. What a splendid week. Yes. Anyways, go ahead.
Where what now?
D. She's
I'm just
on
I'm putting her
saying.
in D.
Does
putting her in D.
do you guys real quick before we move on? So y'all don't see Leah having any chance of winning the season like that, like
No.
bro? Because I feel like D tier is like you really don't got no shot on winning.
I
No,
mean,
D tier is what is happening now. We can't say what's going to happen in the next 4 or 5 weeks. We can
I
only
would, if I didn't see Leah not being able to win, I would have put her in
Okay.
Dead in the Water. But I'm putting her in
I
D.
got you. All right.
You see what I mean?
Let's talk about Angela. Go ahead. We can talk about Angela.
D. She's on the block. Could very well go home if they try to flip votes and keep Chemo and Rubina. I know Rubina's the target, but D. She's just squandered so much. People don't want to work with her. They don't want to align with her. She tells everything. She turns on allies publicly. Like nobody's rocking with Angela. Nobody. Might be around for a little bit, but
yeah, go for it. I I think Angela is one of those people who's just gonna coast like to the end. I don't even want to say coast because I'm like technically she won some comps. Anyways, I just feel like she will make it to the end simply for the fact that everyone is gonna say what Quinn has said this week, which is I don't want to waste my HOH on her. I genuinely think that's the case. Until the BBAI arena is closed, I think people are gonna have that mindset. Now, let's say we're in final 7 and everyone's allied and she doesn't really have a strong ally, then that's when I can see her going per se, but you never know. I just feel like she's in that position where people will like take her to the end to like beat her, but that doesn't mean that she can't have a good speech, have a good resume. She's a fighter. She talks her game. I do think that this week in particular, I think Tucker did do some damage to her game. And even though she didn't know that directly, he did damage her game because he did all that AI and investigator, whatever that thing is, instigator. And it put a target on her back. Oh, hello?
Yes.
Yeah, you're here.
Oh, okay. Wait, y'all just stopped moving, and I was like, "What's going on?"
Sorry.
Both of you, I was like, "What's going on?" Yeah, I think that people already were looking at her sus, and Tucker is a threat to her game. Yes, he would have protected her, but let's say he would have stayed. Like, there's no way Tucker's keeping Angela over Rubina. Like, let's be for real. Let's be for real for a second. Like, that's not happening. Her arguments are not invalid. The way she reacted or her execution of those feelings, I think, is where the issue lies. But like blowing it up at the veto ceremony, there was this big alliance. The thought, like, it puts the target on Tucker, which was there already ish somehow. But I feel like it really lit a fire in a lot of people's butts. So like I can't say that her game's dead in the water, but I would have to put her at D.
I've been saying for weeks, Angela has no shot at winning the season. I think every time she gets herself in a good position, she finds a way to fuck it up. I think the only pathway she had of any success went out the door when Tucker left. So I don't see it, but I'm here for her to say as long as she can to cause more havoc now that Tucker's gone. So I hope she's here for that. But she is dead in the water for me. But if I'm on the island there, we could put her at the bottom of D as well.
I'll put her at the bottom of D.
That's fine.
Miss Angela. I was watching Big Brother for the first time with my parents yesterday because they just did not want to watch it. But I forced them to watch it. And my mom heard Angela's speech to try to stay, and she said eliminate her just for that annoying speech. She was like, why is she here? Why take her out? Like my mom can't stand her. So yeah, she need to go. But let's keep moving. Let's talk about Quinn, the current HOH. It seems like Quinn has had such an up and down season. Every time you think he's doing good, he does bad. And every time you think he's about to leave, he somehow bounces back. So what's the climate on Quinn right now? Does Quinn have a chance to win this season for you guys?
I think I was really, really worried when Chelsea was, trying to gather votes against Tucker that Quinn would not be trustworthy or he would blab or say something as Quinn always seems to do. So the fact that he kept his mouth shut and voted how he should have voted for his game, great. Good job, Quinn. This week is weird to me. I really don't know. I think it's interesting that Quinn is choosing to move forward with some of the stronger players in the game as opposed to some of the weaker. I don't know if that's right or wrong. I'd rather be stuck in an end game with a Takor, a Chemo, and a Rabina rather than Chelsea, Cam, Joseph, Mackenzie. As far as competition and when equity goes, that he's aligning with most of the big threats that I think some of them can beat him. But I think he'd fare better in an end game with weaker players. So I'm not sure what I think of his decision in his nominations and where he's trying to take his game. He's trying to build a really big alliance, and a house of like 10 people also baffles me. But I think he's in an okay spot right now. Chelsea seems to want to align with him. Cam seems to want to align with him. Joseph has made Quinn his new Tucker. So I'm not real sure what I think of his choices yet. I guess I'm not going to have an opinion wholeheartedly until I see how it plays out for him.
I think Quinn is a D tier. I think, let's say he does everything right from here on out and gets to the end somehow. This cast is not like Quinn. If we go down the line, I don't think Leah likes him. Angela definitely doesn't like him. Takor and Kima both seem pretty annoyed with him. Chelsea also seems 50-50 about the guy. I don't see him getting 5 votes. We don't even know how big this jury is going to be. But I think at least, at a minimum, I don't see Angela or Leah ever voting Quinn. And I think Chemo and Takor give the vibes that like they're not feeling the guy. So like that's just me. I don't know, but that's just me like looking towards the future. As of right now, I think it completely wasted last week being like mopey and like basically a crybaby. I don't think he really did much. And I know that like he was a part of whatever vote flip or whatever, but like I don't know. I just think that Quinn, ever since everything hit the fan, hasn't been doing anything correctly. Just like I don't think he's been doing anything correctly from the start of the game. I just don't see the path for Quinn, I guess. And notice that here's a consistency of what I'm saying. I keep saying the path. Maybe the way I judge these players are different from everyone else, but I like to base these rankings off of like, do I see them winning? And like right now, I could see him winning, but it's like a very like fine line. Like very specific things need to happen, and I just don't see him ever being in a winning position, if that makes any sense. That's how I'm feeling. How wrong am I, guys? How you guys feel about that?
I think that like people coming out of the house seemingly that played with him, like Brooklyn, for example, respect Quinn as a player. I don't think that they have the perception that you have as far as him being dead in the water, or they would be.
I didn't say he's dead in the water.
Or I don't think that they would be unwilling to vote for Quinn in the end. Especially, it depends on who he's sitting next to. That is so. I'm talking about now.
But here's the key. Here's a key word you just said though. The people that left the house have said this. I'm talking about the people in the house, and we know for a fact a couple people find him annoying. So
but my point is that they see him as a player in the game that has done things. And
I think it depends. It really depends. Like I think that's what I'm saying. I noticed I didn't say like Joseph or Cam. I said I'm 50-50 about Chelsea. I didn't even say Mackenzie. There's a chance for sure. Like I think he could definitely win. But as of right now, from what I've seen, I think people are 50-50. Go ahead, Josie.
I'd put him in C.
Okay, that's fine.
Y'all are gonna have me defending Quinn. What a sick
It's just me. No,
time.
Janelle's with you. Janelle's
No,
with you.
no. Janelle said something I don't agree with either. That's why I don't agree with both in different facets. Because Janelle said that she doesn't understand why Quinn is aligning himself with players and that she
No,
feels
that's
as
not what
though
I said.
you said you feel like he should go to the end with
I
Takor and
said I
Chemo.
I said I don't know if this decision of the nominations that he's making and who he's choosing to play with is good or bad. I think he's choosing to move forward with the stronger players. From my perspective, I think Chelsea, Cam, Joseph, and not necessarily MJ, but those three, especially Cam and Joseph, their duo, I think they are the stronger players that are bigger competition threats than Chemo, Rabina, Takor. I feel like they would be harder to beat in the end game than those three. Chelsea, Cam, Joseph, or Tikor, Chemo, Rabina. Tikor, Chemo, and Rabina, I feel like Quinn has a better shot against in end game than those three.
But would
Those are
he
the
be
stronger
in the
players.
end game with them? Like that's like I think
I don't.
that's where I think I wanted to lead in terms of like
But what did you
I'm
say?
trying to
I
say
didn't under.
because like I
What did
just
you
feel
say?
as though I said I feel as though yes, I get what you're saying, but I don't even
Mhm.
think he would be in a position if it were to be to align himself with the weaker people and try to get to the end with them. Because let's be real, Quinn has been he's been a mess. He's a blabbermouth. He likes to say and tell everyone all his information all the time. But if there was one person or one side of the house he was most loyal to, it was to Core and Chemo, despite doing
Yeah.
a whole lot. And I
Yeah.
feel as though he did that and they have done everything to prove to him that he might need to pivot and switch around because he was with them. He told them about the collective. He told them about Pentagon. He told them. Then they went and they flipped the vote, did not include him, didn't even have that conversation with him. That's one. Two, people have been talking behind his back to Core and Chemo, and they are supposedly in the visionaries, which they didn't even know if it was real or not, which is strange to me because it's like when you make a final three with someone, I feel like it's like a done deal for all parties, like at least in their minds, like this is a legit thing, but alas, whatever. And they flipped the vote on him. They have not provided him any information that is relevant to him. They wanted to lie to him about the vote regarding MJ because Tucker wanted people to withheld the truth about them voting for MJ, which was strange. And they've closely aligned themselves with Tucker. They hang out with him all the time, the four of them. It's not a secret that there was a Friends Alliance. They have done things to just put him aside. So yes, even though they're the weaker competitions because they've won less at this point in the game, it's like Quinn has given them so much and they have given him nothing. And I think he's finally kind of clicked into that. I think he wants to maybe like align himself more with T-Core than Chemo. But I think Chelsea, for example, who's literally not done nothing against the kid, mind you, he sold her to the river and she's still open to working with him because she
Yeah,
knows
she
she
needs
needs the
numbers.
numbers.
Yeah.
It makes absolutely more sense for me for Quinn at this point in time to want to stay and align himself with these stronger players, even though in the grand scheme of things it might not seem right. I just feel like you can't take a shot at Chelsea now. It would make literally no sense for him because if you take the shot at Chelsea now, you are a big open target that people have feel comfortable going after. Like you don't really have that Takor and Chemo relationship anymore. As we talked about, Leah and Quinn's relationship is strange. If Angela's still in the house, like she'll go after Quinn. I just feel as though like it only makes sense for him to align with these people. And yes, as we know everything, it literally means that he's aligning with someone who has more win equity than him, but he has no other choice. And that's what his game has boiled down to. And if he does another mistake with Chelsea and or Cam, I think there's no going back for him. So he needs to not speak as much. As HOH this week, I want him to do less talking, which is crazy because he's only been HOH for 2 days and he's done told half the house that they safe, even though Oviedo can be won and used. He just needs to stop talking and take the shots much later down the line because he doesn't have the leeway to do a big move now that Tucker is gone.
Okay.
I guess we'll see how it works out for him and see which
All
one of
three
us
of
we
us
go.
on a different line. How you ranking Josiane?
I'd put him in C.
Yeah, I think I would put him. I think he'd be the last person on my C tier.
All right, I put him in D, so he's bottom C. Boom. All right, Rubina.
Oh
How y'all
my
feel
D.
god,
about Rubina?
D.
her
She. Go ahead, Jess.
her making out with Tucker the way she did at multiple times this week has pissed me off. Her crying about her showmance with Tucker has pissed me off. This is an individual game. This is not Love Island. This is not The Bachelor Pad. This is not. No. I think that she's trying to pretend that she's this like individual player who's down to do the moves against Tucker, but she's not. She's not. She's crying over a BBAI instigator report saying that they have been kissing, and if Rubina goes, Tucker's screwed. Like I just feel like her concentration is at the wrong spot. I think she has solely put her focus to Decor and Chemo and that alliance that they have, but really to Decor, Chemo, and Tucker, that she's just not in a good position in the house. She's just not. She has done nothing to advance her game. And I feel as though sometimes she has, I don't know if arrogance is the word, but for a lack of a better word, or maybe confidence in this alliance that is unshakable, that she kind of just like acts like she's on top of the game when she's not. She's not. And we saw it because Tucker's gone. And I hope this opens the game for her. I hope this gives her a reset because personally, seems like a great girl. Gorgeous gown. But like I just feel like her game sense was completely erased when she was with Tucker. Or her compass, I'll say game compass. And so I'm glad Tucker's gone so that she can figure herself out because she's been a mess the past few weeks. Like ever since her and Tucker made out that one time, Soul Ties is
Mhm.
crazy.
Yeah, I'd put Rubina in D. She's on the block. Excuse me. She's on the block. Quinn has shared that she's his target this week. He would like for her to go home. Joseph can't stand her. I don't see anybody sticking their neck out necessarily for her besides Chemo and Rubina, or Chemo and T-Core. D for me because she's very likely going home. Bye.
All right. She is a D for me, but as I said with Cam and Leah, I see a pathway for Rubina winning the season. And even though she is in such a horrible position, I'm so serious. She's the number 5. She has the last position on my list because this is the Jordan Lloyd selection for me, where I feel like if she somehow survives, she is going to be such a non-factor that she is just going to be here and carry it along until either A, it's her turn, or B, she somehow makes it to the end with someone that is bitter as hell. I mean, everyone's bitter at, and then she somehow wins. I don't see that. This is like if I had like a 1 out of 10 ranking, this will be like a 2 out of 10 chance. But there's a future that like we get a crappy winner this season and she's one of them just because she's not like so D tier. Notice I ain't put her high. She's still a D tier for me. Don't get it twisted. But in my own personal thoughts, she could potentially win, but she's at the bottom here. She's in the bottom of the bottom. She's the bottom of D for me.
I'd put her above
I would
Angela.
I'm with
I
that.
agree. I agree. Because seriously, her jumping in Tucker's arms, not once but twice, and making out with him, that to me is absolutely insane. Like you're telling me to my face, this is a 2-person who will never break. Anyways, we all agree, thankfully.
Well, there you go. Let's talk about Takor.
Oh my gosh. Okay. I've seen there. I'm trying to avoid
Overrated
piss me off.
player.
But there's arguments as to whether last week was good or bad. I personally think Tucker leaving was good for every single person's game in some way, shape, or form. So I'm not mad that Tucker went home on her HOH. I don't think that she was too concerned because she was ready to slap him up on that block the second he gave her permission. And when he tried to backpedal, she did not care. She still slapped him up there. Now, this week, I was really interested to see how she was going to handle this. I think she did good right after the Tucker blindside. She was saying it needed to happen game wise. I've seen the conversations that she's had. She's very chill about it. I don't think she's honestly that upset about it game wise. Now, where I'm worried is even through her HOH week, putting up who she put up, Tucker going out, blah, 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 she has maintained her position with a lot of people. Chelsea wants to work with her. Cam wants to work with her. Quinn wants to work with her. Joseph wants to work with her. They talked about how she's a sick jury threat. On and on and on. Praises for T-Core. And they want to pull her into an alliance. But my fear is the girl ain't going to leave Chemo and Rabina's freaking side, and she's going to ruin it. Like, I do not know if she can spend the week doing what I think she needs to do, which is cultivating relationships with this new alliance forming that she has been ingratiated into, and she's gonna be up there 2 butts. Because when they tried to bring in when they talked to Mackenzie about it, Mackenzie was like, but T-Core is still all over Chemo and Rabina. People are gonna have reservations, and she's pissed that that is where Quinn is going. So talking about in the few weeks that she will, if he gets them out, she will target Quinn, blah, blah. I hope she's thinking about later, but I'm just so worried that she's not going to handle this week because she's in her feels about her friends being on the block. And I get it. She's a sensitive soul. She likes them as humans beyond game. So I think it'd be hard for her to drop them cold potato just because she likes them, but she needs to go talk to all those other people that want to keep her. And I don't think she's going to do that. So I'm worried for her future, for her inability to do all that.
This is another person I've been saying for a while. I think T-Core is the player that has so much.
Everybody in the house loves her.
That's what I'm saying. She has mad potential, but she's wasting it all with Chemo. And Chemo does not have her best interest at hand, if you ask me. I think he's very selfish. But T-Core is kind of annoying me. Mini right here, but it's like, you did all this because you weren't involved in the big collective group. I mean, whatever, the Pentagon. You weren't involved in the Pentagon and you were upset about it. You're finally getting invited to an alliance of people that you were very mad about not being included with. I don't see her staying with that whatsoever. I think that she's on a very thin line. I've never seen a player get so many opportunities to like make things right. You already flip on Chelsea and all of them with Tucker. You'd send Tucker home. First of all, you sent Cedric home. I'm still in that. So stupid, if you ask me. Brooklyn went home, whatever.
It's been fine.
You guys sent Tucker home after nominating Cam, by the way, which is also very confusing. I don't know why she keeps putting up people who want to work with her, but whatever. And then you send Tucker home. I don't think Tucker was the right choice for her yet. I think Tucker is a problem, obviously. I know, but she didn't do anything actively to stop it either. I'm just saying, she put T-Core and Chemo, took power from the house, actively gave it to Tucker, and obviously Tucker's gone. They have flipped from the Chelsea side to the Tucker side, back to the Chelsea side. If they don't stand in line and shut up, it's just
T-Core. It's just her, not Chemo.
I'm talking about both of them. Because they're attached and conjoined to the hip, and whatever T-Core does, Chemo's doing vice versa. So if they don't get their act together, and if they try to do some funny business one more time, I don't think they're getting any more chances. Like, I think it's it. I think that she is so lucky that her and Chelsea were able to lock it back in. I'm shocked that Cam is letting whatever happen. Like shout out to them for giving her the 1,000th opportunity to work with her. But if she does anything stupid to try to save this guy Chemo for the rest of the game, she's done, bro. Like I'm already off the core game, but like she still has an opportunity to win. I actually listed her as the 5 people that could win. So it's like there's an opportunity there, but I'm just like, I'm not with the randomness and the emotional gameplay from T-Core. I think she's very emotional. Same with Chemo. I might as well be ranking Chemo right with T-Core. They're in different spots. Let me finish. They're in different spots, but their games are so intertwined. I don't think as long as Chemo's in the game, T-Core is ever going to be able to thrive as a player. So, with that being said, T-Core, I'll put her at the bottom of C. I really think she should be at the top of D, but I think she's at the bottom of C strictly because she's being included in plans with people in power. I'm gonna give her that. Everyone seemed extremely ecstatic to see her as HOH last week, and they like her, they love her. But I feel like if she pisses the house off one more time, it's done. Okay, I've never seen a player get this many opportunities to fix themselves after effing the house up time after time after time. It's crazy. But go ahead.
My issue with Takor is that like she should have never put Tucker on the block. I think I can't blame her for Tucker saying, "Hey, I'll be put up on the block," because hey, if anyone says, "Hey, you can put me on the block," I'm trying to have less blood on my hands. But I think she should have never put him up. I know she offered, and I think his reaction towards being pissed about it was invalid because you offered yourself up. You should have never offered it. You should have spoken candidly with her because that's your ally. You have that right to do that. So I was really annoyed. Like, I think she shouldn't have put Tucker up. And I'm not even a Tucker defender, y'all. Like, she should have never done that. Then I think the issue also is that she is too connected to Chemo. She needs to break it off. I think Chemo needs to be evicted for her to to actually win. If Chemo gets evicted, maybe not this week, but first week of jury, if Chemo gets evicted, her threat level goes exponentially down. I know people want to align themselves with her, but she's absolutely doing no favors to cultivate these handouts that she's receiving. And I don't think that I can't say that she doesn't deserve handouts because she did work in that the first few weeks in the house and cultivating these relationships with the people in the house. I have to give her tens where tens are due, but like after that, she's kind of secluded herself to this friends alliance and she wants to work with people she really likes. That's what it is. It's not who can I work with to better my position. It's who can I work with that I actually enjoy. And that's why she's sticking with Chemo and Rubina. I think she wants to keep that level of friendship and loyalty to a fault where it's almost gonna or probably will be the detriment to her game. What I need her to do is I need her to align with Chelsea. I need Chemo to be evicted, and I think she can regain power and regain momentum and win this game. I think the Black women in this house are the real potential winners. Like they're the ones who are
Rubina and Chemo. She'd rather work with Rubina and
that's the issue. She would rather do a more personal thing, which is
she is like, so against Black players, y'all. I'm so sorry. I just had to say this.
Chelsea, she's not. How
she loves Chelsea.
Yeah,
she has put Cam up, and she's backdoored Cedric, two people who had her best interest. You can't tell me Cedric or Cam were targeting. So you think Cedric or Cam were ever going to target?
What I'm saying is they don't think that they necessarily had. Cedric said himself that he was going to knock her out first. He said it.
I don't think it was serious.
Of course, because
they had mass strategic talks one-on-one. Like I really do think that Cedric and Cam had her best interest, and I've just seen her time and time again just like throw people, and I'm including Tucker in this, throw people who want to work with her. And I'm just like
everybody, lots of people want to work.
I know, but like people who actually want to work with her. There's people who like her, but there's not people who are going to like do what they need to do to keep her in the game. I really think that those three people would do what they need to do to keep her in the game. I'm just saying Chelsea is her last line in Chemo, and you got to pick one or the other. It's either lose to Chelsea or go down and sink with the ship with Chemo. Like she has cut any options off for Rubina, who's definitely not going to do her anything crazy. Chemo, who's sinking her game to the ground. And we're over here saying you need to work with the best player in the game and to probably lose. Like this is such a bad position to be in. I've never seen someone take power and then just actively hand it off to people. Like it doesn't make any sense. Sorry, I cut into your time, Josie. Go ahead.
No, it's okay. I think that the issue with Takora boils down to 2 points. One, she wants to work alongside people that she truly genuinely likes and would like to hang out with outside the house, which there's nothing wrong with. But if you want to go down with this in kingship, Someone Play My Heart Will Go On by Celine Dion. I don't know. And two is that she plays too much of a passive game. She feels comfortable talking and being honest with Chemo and to an extension Rubina, but it's not enough. When you were in your alliance, you could have spoken your piece. You could have said what you wanted to say. Yes, she was an HOH, so she had that power position. So I think she she said, you know what, you might feel that way, but I'm going to do what's best for me. And ultimately, I do see in the grand scheme of things that Tucker leaving was good for everyone's game, because I truly think if Tucker does not go home, he wins point blank in the
Yes.
period. But in that is more of a it's better for people in a more immediate way, and for some people it's better in a long-term way. And I just feel for like Takor, she could have had Tucker in the house for 2 more weeks. Like for her, I don't know if it would have been possible in 2 weeks to get him out at that point,
Right. That's
but
my concern.
I think it would have been better for him not to go immediately, because now she's in like a really rough position. And I just hope for her sake that Chemo goes this week so that she can reposition herself and structure herself and align herself with the people she should be aligning with.
Yeah, to me, like I said, she has so much opportunity this week to solidify things for her personal game, but her connection and her heart and whatever her connection is to those people is gonna squander it for her. I'm calling it right now. She has it at the tip of her fingers to be in with who she needs to be in, but she's not gonna drop those people, and that's gonna be the detriment of her game. Because this week for me, for T-Core is a make it or break it for the rest of her game. And she's going to stick with them two nincompoops and not be self-interested enough to know she needs to work those up. You can still be there for your buddies, but you need to get in with those other people that want you to be in with them and really solidify. But I don't think she's going to do it. She's in her feelings. She's hurt. Like, oh, it's so annoying to me because it's right there for her.
Well
So
said.
annoying.
But where you guys want to put her?
For this week, I would have to put her definitely below Cam. I don't know if she should be above Quinn, but
I would put her above Quinn.
Cam.
I'd put her at the bottom of C.
I think she's above Quinn.
She wakes the heck up, please. Like it's right there for you. Like it's right there for you. But
me seeing how much the house loves this girl,
I agree with you.
Crying, I think she's above. Like they bawled their eyes with this girl.
Above Quinn for this week. I think all Quinn did this week was vote the right way, and the fact that he had to ask Chelsea, like ask her if they were still doing it. Like, yes, you're still doing it. You should have done it, and he almost didn't have faith in the plan. Like, yeah, I think Takor needs to be above him, but like Quinn. Anyways, it can change next week. We'll see.
Okay. All right. We got 3 people left. Let's try to do these quickly. Chemo. I kind of spoke on you already. I think Chemo is definitely a D. A high D. I think Chemo losing Tucker is a major loss for his game. And outside of Joseph, who is at a disgusting bottom point, which we'll get to in a second, I think that Chemo is in a resetting phase and definitely needs to reorganize who he needs to work with. Because I think Takor's in a good spot, which is always going to be good for him. But I don't think Chemo really has many people looking out for him anymore now that Tucker's gone, and again, his closest ally isn't really in the best position in the house either. So I think Chemo is a D tier. It could change, but how are you guys feeling?
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I think Chemo definitely is D. I'm gonna say above maybe Leah, and the reason why I feel this way about Chemo is because when they did the flip against Cedric, it is so easy. It is easier to play from the bottom than maintain your position to the top. And once they flipped the house and became in the top position, Chemo did absolute damage with the rest of the house and did not do enough to regain in their good graces. Everyone's been talking about Chemo for the past week. If you would have said that to me week 2, I would have said you're lying. But he's actually been messy and it's catching up to him. And I think he's dealing with the consequences. The fact that he knew about the power, I don't think people have forgotten that. Him flipping the house, Chelsea has not forgotten that. His allies, Tucker was his number 1, in my opinion, if I'm being real. I don't know. I'm not him, but it was giving almost number 1, if not number 2. He's gone. Rubina, who's another ally, is gonna go home. his alliance got blown up, and he literally is a walking target that people have been talking about. He is not in a good position, and I literally do not know what he can do, because I feel like he shot himself so much in the foot by doing that flip on Cedric so early on, and put his eggs all in that alliance. Even though he says he didn't want Angela to be in the alliance, you put her eggs in her basket. And what did she do? Boom. She got you red-handed. So at this point, like, I really don't know what he can do. Does that mean that he's out? Does that mean he's dead in the water to me? No, because this house, and I love that I'm saying that this house is unpredictable. So he might just do enough to regain momentum. But as of right now, it's not looking good. He's giving Brooklyn. Not the same reaction way.
Yeah, but no, I get you. Listen, Chemo, I'm with it. Underlia, Joseph actually in the chat. Can we get a reaction to this? Quinn just told us that Rubina isn't his target and wants Angela to go home this week. I'm not sure if he said it to the cameras or something. Hey, yeah. I'm okay with that. I'm here for the mess. I'm here for the mess. Let's go. Let's do it. I want to see it blow up.
I think it's actually really bad for him for her to go. Oh, go ahead.
You said what?
I said I think that's a mistake for him. I think he should break up.
Agreed.
If you're not gonna be in with Chemo, T-Core, and Rubina, and you're switching squads, I think that he needs to hurt or knock down that trio. Honestly,
in my opinion, I say he take out Angela, who is obviously after him, and you let someone else do the dirty work. Don't rock all the waters.
So
yeah, for sure. But like, I think Angela, easy lick, and then there's no drama. You take out someone who wants you out, and everyone else, let them handle it next week.
I just feel like Quinn shouldn't have won this week. I don't know if I said that previously, but I just feel like he shouldn't have won because of the fact that there's 3 people who got up on the block. If it wasn't BBAI Arena and there's 2, I would have been totally fine, because then he could have put up Chemo as a replacement, or Rubina, or Angela, depending on what he was trying to do. But yeah, I don't really think this is good for him. If you're going to put up Chemo and Rubina on the block together, you might as well take the shot. That's my opinion. That's really my opinion. And my concern then becomes the power veto has been used on Angela once. She could win it, then what? Who are you putting up? That's a major problem and flaw in Quinn's game. And I just feel as though he should be focusing on, I think getting rid of Rubina is actually really good for him, because if Chemo and T-Core need a third again, they're going to go to Quinn. They're not going to go to Chelsea. They're not going to go to Joseph. Like, I don't care what no one says. Like, they're more likely to go to Quinn again. So if you take the shot, someone who's taking your place, he can play more of the middle. Angela's like at the bottom. Like, she's at the bottom. She has no social capital. She has no win. She doesn't really have that big of a win equity. Why are we shooting at her? Like, I would rather shoot at someone who has a more likely shot of winning between the 2 of them, and that would be Rubina.
All right.
I mean, yeah, I can agree that he shouldn't have won, because if he hadn't, he wouldn't have to show his cards to one side or the other. He could have secretly pretended to be with Chemo, T-Core, and Rubina, and then stuck with Chelsea and them, like really wanting to go forward with Chelsea.
The best case scenario would have been Cam winning the HOH. I can't believe I said it. Yeah. If he would have won HOH, he could have put up T-Core. She just put him up. He could have Chemo and Rubina. That would have been a sickening week. And from my understanding, it was between Quinn and Cam. I could be wrong. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure I heard it was between them 2. So he should have just thrown it.
I thought it was Cam or Quinn, Cam, like you said, Chelsea and Joseph. That's what I thought I heard, but I'm not sure either, Josie.
So if Quinn out of everyone should have thrown it. Like Chelsea should have. She's not in power, so it's okay. But Cam should have won, because he would have been the one to be able to take the shots and actually get no actual repercussions in terms of well, you're betraying me. Because no, Cam's just been there.
Right. Yeah. Cam could have easily slapped them up, and nothing would have who's they can't be mad at him, but they're certainly mad at Quinn, you know?
Because if Takor wings POV and takes chemo off the block, who goes up?
Oh my God, I'm gonna die, Josie. I will strangle her.
I mean, we need to ask the real questions. If Takor wins POV and takes off chemo, who goes on the block?
I don't know.
He's not putting up Leah.
I hope he would.
I don't. He just
All
told
right.
MJ he wasn't. Like, it's going to be such a bad week for him if that happens.
I will die.
All right, let's move to the last two people, y'all. Chelsea. With that being, to make a long story short for me, I'm going to put her at an A. If you ask me, I think Chelsea has gone from running the house to losing it, and I think that she's done some of the best recovery I've seen in a while, and handled being in the bottom position very well. And she slowly but surely took power back without having to be in the forefront. She's completely running this house, and she doesn't even seem to be like the figurehead of it. It's very Tiffany-esque, if you ask me. Like, reminds me a lot of Tiffany, where like she has like all these soldiers around her doing her bidding for her. I think Chelsea is exactly that, and I like that she's very intentional and aware of what her positioning is. I like everything that I'm seeing with Chelsea. She's an A tier for me, but I could be blowing it out of proportion. How do you guys feel about Chelsea?
I'm proud of her. Like you said, she's handled, like, I don't think that we understand at home how hard it has to be to have all that thrown at you, and no matter what, even though people were coming at her, accusing her, like she kept her composure all through it all. She was cool, calm, and collected. Even if she was pissed about it, you could not read that on her face. I think she handled gathering the votes against Tucker excellently. I think she handled MJ excellent. I think she handled Leah excellent, even how she's dealing with Quinn. I'm glad that her and Cam have connected on such a game sense. They weren't that close game-wise before, but now they're making a great duo game-wise. So I'm proud of her. I can't say a bad thing about her. I would put her in B, but I won't put her in A. So we'll see. I think she has a great trajectory if things keep going her way and she keeps playing the way that she plays. She just needs, like, her side just needs to keep winning. And I hope she's looking at sniping Quinn and Joseph sooner rather than later in the grand scheme of things, because I think that they're the biggest threat, because they definitely talked about her and they recognize her as a strong player. So,
and I know it seems like a huge skyrocket because it seems like it's going from C to A. We didn't do the rankings last week, but just to go on the record, definitely would have put Chelsea at a B last week. So that's why I put her at an A this week. But Josie, go ahead.
Chelsea, the mother that you are. I never doubted you, my sister. I've been with you. I've been rocking with you. What a good week for Chelsea. I have loved this arc for her. Despite going from the top to the bottom, she has been punching her way up. Rightfully so. She mothered this week. Getting rid of Tucker is exactly what she needed to do, and it was done. Tucker going is actually one of the best things for her, because let's be frank, who doesn't want to work with Chelsea? Yes. I understand she's a target. Oof. But half of the house is a target. Let's be frank. Let's be real. She ain't any different than Quinn on the left. Like, he's a target as well. Chemo's a threat as well. Everyone's a threat. But she's just in good position. Now, what I need her to do, I need her to solidify MJ. She doesn't need to do it with Leah, but I need her to also secure Leah. I need her to secure these women. These women have been wanting to work with her since week 2, week 3. I need her to secure them officially. She doesn't need to be, I don't know if she needs to be in an alliance with them, because if she goes against them later, it could bite her in the butt. I just need her to constantly give them reassurance. Now, I know talking to them can be frustrating and annoying at times. I know, but it is the game that you signed up for, and you have the potential to win. You do. You're excellent.
She would be such a fantastic winner. Like, I would be through the roof.
She just needs to cultivate and maintain these relationships. I think, to your point, Quinn's going on a rant on camera, and he's talking about how like he needs Chelsea in jury because he feels as though she would vote for him. So he, and he also recognizes that he would lose to her in a final. Self-working, but to be honest, I don't know who he wins against. So I don't know. But alas, it's early days. So I just need her to cultivate these individual relationships. Angela's one of them, even if she's going home. We're going into the jury phase. I need her jury management to be A1, and she needs to start now. If she does that, I think she's won a comp before. I think she needs to win again. I think Cam needs to win again. And I think, to your point, Janelle, her allies need to win. She needs to win to maintain this power. But I know that she can play from the bottom. And that's excellent. That's excellent. Because even if the other side wins, she's not the main threat. She's not. Like, Quinn just put up chemo. Chemo, I don't think we'll forget that. I don't think he will.
Right.
So
I'm with you.
Chelsea, I don't know if I could give her. You know what? For the week that was just executed, I need to give 10 where 10s are due. I'm okay with putting her in A. You kind of gagged me when you said A, but I think hard work deserves its merit.
Yeah. I'm so excited for her. Like, she's my number one who I'm rooting for. Like, I absolutely love how she moves through the game. So I pray she could.
My winner pick.
Yes, definitely, Josie. I'm with you on that. I would like it'd be such a fantastic season if she can pull this out. I'd be elated.
If she wins this season, I'm afraid of my top 5 Big Brother seasons.
Yeah, definitely. It's such
the only thing that's scaring me is like people are acknowledging that she's a good player. So it's like, they're going to try to take a shot at you at some point, which is why I'm like, might play Cam at my winner pick. We'll see. All right, well, we will see. But okay. Lastly, let's talk about Mr. Fake Dan Giesling, Mr. Fake Doctor Will. We got Joseph. What a fall from grace from the self-proclaimed king of Big Brother 26, guys. Joseph thought he was running the house and got a reality check like hell yesterday. How do you guys feel about Joseph?
That solitary confinement whooped.
Oh my god,
y'all! It whooped him. Like, when you think of solitary confinement, you think Dan Giesling, you think funeral, and let me tell you, Joseph did not do that. He showed up to that veto, shirtless, randomly, shirt on his head, and gagged. Oop! Your lines just got exposed. Boom. That's the first thing you wake up to when you come back. That's crazy.
Wait, but Josie, I think he did have a Dan's funeral moment. It was just Joseph's funeral, the death of his game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's over.
Dan hosted. Maybe Dan had a celebration of life, and it brought back his revival. And Joseph had a literal funeral for his game. I don't know. It was very bad. It was very bad. The issue I've been finding with Joseph is that sometimes he speaks and it rubs people the wrong way because he thinks he knows. He thinks he's that girl. And it's giving, I don't want to say someone's particular name, but it's giving someone from last season who thought the reads at the beginning, the reads were great and excellent and we were backing them. And then slowly but surely the reads were turning off.
Who?
If you know, you know. So I just feel like
See, look, y'all doing better. Y'all doing better. Good job.
Who's y'all doing better?
Not name dropping. We're doing good. We're doing good, guys. Good job.
Oh, okay.
No, I'm in my peaceful era. Any other episode I would have said it, but alas. Yeah, I just feel like he has had a fall from grace. Him telling people he had a final 2 with Tucker is crazy. It's crazy. Yeah. Because if I'm Chelsea, I'm thinking, we were just in the collective together. How long have you had this final 2? Did you always knew you were going to flip on me? Like, it's just like, not everything needs to be said. Not everything needs to be said, especially in the pre-jury era. Like, it's actually mind-boggling to me how much everyone's willing to confess something and it's pre-jury. Enough with the talking. Let's keep secrets. Let's keep information. You know, if that's something he could have kept in his back pocket and maybe discussed during a speech. You know, I was at my lowest point at this point because I had a final two. Like it's like you're giving too much. This is why Marianne from Survivor is iconic. One of the only people who knows how to just keep a secret that's gonna benefit you in the future. Like Canadian girls always do it better. Anyways,
okay.
besides that, yeah, no, I think he's definitely D. I think he's D. Like, I wanted to root for him, but D.
How about you, Janelle? Janelle Ray incoming.
One thing that perplexes me about him is I don't understand what he believes he's done in the game that is so amazing. He is so cocky. I'm one of the best players. I'm gonna get me and you, Quinn, are up there for AFP. Me, you, and Chelsea are the. What have you done besides attach yourself to Tucker and ride on his coattails? Now, as much he was up Tucker's butt all the time. Now he's up Quinn's butt all the time, trying to ride behind Quinn. I just don't understand what he thinks his game is and why it's so impressive. Like, what have you done? You don't win nothing. You ain't controlled nothing. You ain't done nothing. You're on the wrong side of flip. He did join the Cedric flip, but he was the wrong side of this flip. Like, I don't understand what he believes he's done that is so superior than other people in the house. Perplexing to me. I don't know that his position is terrible. I don't know who's necessarily targeting him. Quinn wants to work with him. Chelsea wants to work with him, seemingly Cam a little bit. They want to pull him in. He seems in a decent spot. I don't know. I don't trust him. I think he's a snake. I really don't know where I would put him, but I don't particularly, I'm not fond of him.
Yeah, I think he's
done. His game is. I don't know what his game is.
Now, in fairness, if you look at our chart from last week, we put him in the highest position, so he was doing something right. But right. I think his game was like how we have Takor and Chemo tightly aligned. I think his game was always going to be tightly connected to Tucker. And the moment Tucker left, that's when he was like going to be in danger. He spent a lot of time last week talking about like, oh, I would never vote Tucker if he got in the final two. Telling Quinn like, oh yeah, I actually know what's going on. You don't. Blah 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 blah. He don't know what's going on, bro. So I think Joseph fall from grace, definitely a D, and I am curious to see if he can fix this for himself. But there's a lot of people who have openly said they don't really vibe with him. They don't really want to work with him. So we'll see how that goes. But I'm gonna put him next to Chemo. I don't think he's done, but like he's done, yeah. All right. So
I think he's in a better position than Chemo.
I'm with that too. Short fall, yeah, I agree, Russ. I agree. But that's it, y'all. I think that's our list. We have our first A tier, Chelsea, and finally we have Angel in the bottom. Finally, she's finally there.
We're lucky Katie's not here.
I'm glad Katie's not here.
But she'd be making some points, and she'd be getting me. She'd be gagging me. And I'd be like,
I'm glad the mist is not here to trick everybody for once. Very good. Very good. All right. With that being said, thank you everybody so much for watching our podcast live, not live, whatever you got. Please follow us on all of our social media platforms. If you're listening, rank it 5 stars, yada, 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 yada. I got to go. All right. Janelle, where can people find you?
I'm Janelle Michaud on all social media that matters, and I'll be talking to Tucker next week.
All right. Josie.
You guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and all social media that matters at Josiane XNM, JOSIANE XNM. I am so excited. Traders Canada is coming back. I'll be tweeting about that because Netta might be coming on.
Oh.
Now. Wow. I don't need to discuss how I feel about Netta, y'all. But if it is, I will be tweeting and I will be watching and I will be hoping that she is a trader. If not, I watched Love is Blind UK. If anyone wants to kiki with me on that.
My family told me it was really good.
Oh, it was messy down boots.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. My fiance watched it too. They said it was way better than American, so I gotta check it out.
For a first season, I think they've outdone a few American seasons for sure.
That's what everyone was saying. Okay. Mm-hmm. And if you want to follow me, you can find me at 8Ball Bangers per usual. Talking about Big Brother, and shout out to my dog Ari Ferrari in the chat. You can watch other Survivor Philly people in our Survivor Philly coverage. Very good time. I have my really good friend Derek Washington and Ganjo this week to talk about it. So
Oh,
you can, you guys can all check that out. But all right. Until next time, have a good one. Bye.
Bye.